All right, guys. So Noah and I have had some time to reflect back on our 2022 season. We want to start off by thanking everybody that's helped make this a great season for us. All you guys that have hunted with us or just helped share fellow net outdoors and make this a success. This particular buck that we have right here in front of us is a very special hunt to me. I got to be with my best friend Noah here, and we filmed our first big buck in the stand together. We've each killed several big bucks over the past couple of years on film, but this is the first one sitting in the same stand together. We didn't air this hunt earlier in the year because at the time there was a lot of stuff going on. This is not a typical intro that we would normally do. So to start off, right before this hunt happened, Noah got in actually two accidents back to back. Someone rear-ended him at work, and he was going through a stressful time then. And then it was a couple of days later, there ended up being a bad accident close to his house in an intersection where his Jeep Gladiator actually got totaled. He was in the hospital, concussed, going through a tough time. And obviously, if you know Noah and I's relationship, we're kind of like pushing each other all the time, man up, stuff like that. So he was recovering from his concussion and all that stuff. We had a big buck that we call Pop Can show up on camera. It was a buck that we had been watching throughout the summer. Wasn't sure if it was one that we were necessarily going to shoot or not, because at the time we had several nice bucks on camera, and we started off pursuing some other deer, and those didn't work out for one reason or another. And this buck showed back up, and when this buck shows up, he daylights two or three times in a row. He's one of the few bucks, mature bucks that we had that would do that. So I urged him to get up off his butt, stop complaining about his concussion and all that stuff, which obviously, maybe I need to take that a little bit more serious, but there's a big buck on cam. We got business to take care of. So that evening, we got him drug up in the tree, and we're sitting there for a while, and then he looks out in the field where we had walked in at and says, dude, there's a buck right there. I hand him the camera because it's in a position for him to see it, and we determined, oh crap, that's Pop Can. That's the target buck that we came in here for. And lo and behold, the deer turns, and he comes on a beeline right to us, comes around, freezes up for a second, starts smelling, make sure everything's good. We have perfect wind, so we know this deer is not going to smell us or anything like that. He comes up the trail and the edge of the bean field, gives him a perfect 25-yard shot, and as you guys can see, it was a successful hunt. I'm going to let Noah take it over from here and kind of describe his feelings and what he was thinking during that time, and just go over some more of this hunt with you guys.
Yeah, so to give you guys a little bit of history on this buck, it was the first year hunting this property, and this is actually the first buck that Ethan and I saw on this property. We went out scouting really early in the summer. It was June, and when we first saw this buck, we were like, that's a pretty solid one. We'll keep an eye on him. We had two in particular that were 170 plus that we were really heavily pursuing early season. But we noticed as the summer prolonged that in July in particular, this buck made some crazy jumps in his velvet. We almost thought it wasn't even the same deer
Right, yeah.
when we saw him on camera at the end of July. We were expecting like maybe a 120s, 130s max kind of deer, and he blew up into what he is now and really had a lot of mass, and then toward the end of summer developed a lot of this character that he has. But prolonging in the season after those two bad accidents that I was involved in, I was down on myself. It was a tough couple of weeks, and the friend and teammate that Ethan is, he, I didn't have a vehicle, and I was in the process of getting a rental, and that took a few days, but Ethan loaned me his Jeep and allowed me to go out and prepare for a hunt in particular with this deer. It got to the point where I I would have been grateful to have a deer like this walk in front of me. And then, you know, I was down on myself. I wasn't feeling the best. Went out and grabbed a tree stand because we were going to do a hanging hunt on this deer. And, you know, I went out, got it, didn't feel the best. When I got back to the house, I told Ethan, I was like, you know what, I don't feel like going out tonight. I was like, I just don't think, I don't think I have the energy for it. But he insisted. He was like, dude, all you got to do is carry your bow, walk into the tree stand. If the deer shows up, pull back and shoot it. And he, you know, as a cameraman, you know, you kind of want the luxury seat and to be in the best position and be the most comfortable guy in the tree stand because you're the guy filming, right? And this guy was dangling between two tree branches. Yep. His tree stand platform pretty much wasn't secure to the tree, so all that was holding him up was his harness and then his arms on the tree limbs. So it was definitely an experience just to get the tree stand hung in the tree, but overall everything panned out, and this deer couldn't have read the script any better, as it was the first night we were in there hunting him and he showed up.
Yeah, it was definitely a hunt that I'll remember for the rest of my life. One of my favorites for sure. Just to be in the stand with you and to watch this deer develop over the summer. As Noah said, at first we weren't sure because he was less developed than most of our other bucks at that time. They were like way far ahead of him. His tines were real nubby still, and then in that month of what, it was July, right?
July,
where all of a sudden, as you guys can see, I mean, just turned into 12-inch tines, and we couldn't believe how just big of a jump he took. And this particular deer, I rough scored him. I think he was like 155 as a, you know, as a 9-point mainframe 8-point. That is just
it's a beast of a deer.
Absolutely stunning deer. You couldn't ask for a better deer than this one right here. So
yeah, for sure one that I'm gonna cherish as well. It's not many times that Ethan and I both have a buck tag and we're in the tree stand together, as typically we tag out really early in the season, and in this instance it worked out. And you know, we had a buck that was still showing up to a summer pattern, and we were able to put a good hunt on him. So overall a success, and one that we'll both cherish for many years to come.
Yeah, and something else that I want to touch on here. Over the years, we've had this little competition, you know, where we try to come up with who we think is the most valuable hunter through the year, whether that be, you know, you laid down the best footage, you helped out your teammates, anything like that. And I've been blessed to get that title a few times given to me by our guys. And I think this year in particular, this belt right here belongs to my man, Noah, because he put in a lot of work this year, helped scout, pushed me to be better, helped my wife kill her biggest buck to date, helped me with Richard, and just all of our teammates kill big bucks, and none of that would have been possible without you. So
thank you, brother.
This is yours. And with all that being said, sorry guys, I'm getting a little bit emotional. Let's get into this hunt. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to take you straight into the action.
You got him, bro. He's gonna go down right there, dude. Could you see where you hit him? That's what I thought, like center body. He's going stinky leg, dude. He's going stinky leg, dude. Come on, buddy, go down. Go down, buddy. Bro. 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 Fucking love you, dude. I love you. Fuck yeah, dude. First time in the stand, baby. Is that rolling?
No, it died.
Okay.
It died.
Holy crap, dude.
He's big, bro.
I know, dude. Oh.
He came out on the tree line. Over there, bro.
We walked right by that, dude.
We walked right by him.
Guys, Noah and I are in this tree. We had this buck all summer long. This is our first time sitting here. I had to put up a double set. Well, him and I did. Today, we had a stand already in it. And my stand, I'm stuck between like all these tree branches. It ain't even really hanging on the tree. And it's so wobbly. And anyways, he just smoked the deer we call Pop Can. He's a big old 9-pointer. This is our first big buck sitting together. Freaking jacked, dude. 25 yards maybe?
25. I split my 20 and I aimed high on my 20.
25 yards. And he smoked him. We've got 2 big bucks off this property this year. First year on this farm, baby. When did we, the first night we ever came out here to scout this summer, first time we laid eyes on the property, this was the buck we saw. And today we just seen him fall, baby. Let's go.
down.
Dude, I got the whole thing, bro. I got him going down and everything.
Dude, I think this is my favorite hunt.
Oh,
This is better than the 170.
oh, man.
We're tagged out.
Tagged down, babe. Oh.
Holy crap, bro. What October lull?
Dude, look, I'm freaking shaking still, bro. I was trying not to shake with the camera because it was like, I was like, dude, when he got right there and he started smelling. He was testing. He was testing it.
I know. I was like, there's no way that deer smells this. We're downwind of him.
No. We had the perfect wind. He's done right there, dude.
He's done. Oh, man. Guys, it has been a week. Tuesday, I was
Rear-ended
on the highway in our work truck. And the next day, I got in another car accident, and that one I did come away with some injuries and a concussion and sprained neck, and it's just been a really crappy week. And I even told Ethan today, I was like, dude, I don't really feel like hunting. I don't feel good. This guy lended me his Jeep.
Yeah.
And I went and picked up his .5 tree stand that he's sitting in.
Yeah.
And I felt like crap the whole time I did that, and I didn't really even want to come out tonight. And he urged me to, as he said, man up, and
Yeah.
it's been a week, and this has brought some light to it for sure.
I say everything happens for a reason. And this is just awesome. Like I said, this is our first year hunting this farm. And boom, first night on the farm, my wife shot a big buck across the road. And then this is him and I's first sit on this side where we had seen these bucks earlier in the year. He was on camera last night at like 7 o'clock. And I was like, you think he'll do the same thing? I was like, truthfully, I don't know, but because it seems like we haven't had a buck do the same thing in a while. But this particular buck, we've noticed when he did daylight, it was like, what, 3 days in a row?
Three.
And tonight, oh, I'm shaking. Sorry, the camera's shaking too. But he came right past where we walked in at and didn't smell our wind, didn't smell our boot prints, nothing. Scent control, baby. Let's go. Let's get down and see this freaking thing, dude.
Alright guys, Ethan and I just got down. We're gonna grab the arrow here. Buck already fell down in the field, so we're just gonna get right to it.
The lighting's better out here anyway.
I think I got some gut.
Yeah, definitely got some gut. The way he walked off, you definitely probably got a little gut. I just want to get my hands on this bad boy. We've been seeing him all summer. You ready for this, bro? Let's go, baby. That beast, dude. He's way bigger than we thought, bro. Bro, that's a 150-inch deer, bro. At least.
Holy crap. He's got like a inside point starting to come off there.
Yeah.
Holy crap, bro. He's a big deer.
Dude, look right here. He's got a little drop.
He's got a point coming right there and then one right here. You see it?
Yeah.
Jesus. Shot was definitely back.
Oh, that's the entrance?
Yeah.
Way far back. What do you think, dude?
I think let's head back to the truck and get Levi. But
Probably gotta go get the 4-wheeler, don't you think?
alright guys, well, here he is.
Pop cans down, baby.
Pop Can is down. We named him Pop Can because during the summer he had just
Big
you
old
can
bases.
see my hand can hardly get around it, and these beams are thick. He's got tons of mass, and you can see his tine length is very, very deceiving in person. Those are some long tines, dude. He's a 9-point, but he has trash starting to develop.
Yeah.
And he's got this kicker right here, but holy crap, this is probably the biggest deer on this side of the farm. And then obviously on the other side, Kaylin of the farm, Kaylin shot that buck. And holy crap, this is a very surreal first sit for Ethan and I, and we were able to put Pop Can down.
Let's go, dude. I'm gonna turn the
Big
camera.
thanks to E for sitting in that uncomfortable setup so that we could film this for you guys. But holy crap.
Pretty sweet having a cameraman.
Just have to self-film it.
Turn its head. Let everyone get a look at that beast, bro. Yeah.
Alright guys, so here he is. Our the first buck that we scouted on this property. We named him Pop Can, and we got a few weeks worth of summer footage of him, and then season came around and he ended up showing back up. He disappeared for probably 3 or 4 weeks, and opening week we set our team member Ted Barnett in here after him, and he had a close encounter and was probably just a few yards away from getting a shot off at Pop Can, and I think he was downwind and ended up busting out of there. And he had been off of camera for a few weeks now, and then last night he showed back up on camera, and today Ethan and I had a lot of debates on whether we should come in and hunt this deer, and we chose to do a hanging hunt, and we brought his .5, and he decided that he was going to film, and ultimately this deer played his part, read the script perfectly, and we think he did the same thing that he did last night. He actually showed up about 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
He popped out down here on the end of the field, and he was the only deer that we saw tonight, and we got a little bit of pre-roll of him, and he worked down this bean edge and gave us a perfect 25-yard broadside shot. Hit him a little bit further back than I wanted, but I think it quartered up into him, caught guts, liver, and lung, and he ran about 60 yards and then walked another 20 and then piled up in the field.
Yeah, so this summer, this is a new farm that we just got, as Noah was saying, and we walked out here. When was it? July?
It was June.
June.
Yeah, they just hardly had their horns starting to
It was
come
June,
on.
and him and I snuck clear out in the middle of this field, and when we popped up over the hill, we saw a deer at the back of the field, and it was this deer. And early season, like in June, you would have never thought this deer blew up as much as he did, because we had him from June all the way going into September, and he hadn't put on all the height yet. And then like right last peak growth, he just blew up and went straight up, and we knew it was a really good deer. But at first we were kind of targeting some other deer that basically just summered on us and didn't end up giving us the opportunities. And Ted had an opportunity at this, and unfortunately the deer kind of slipped out and didn't do exactly what we had thought it was going to do. And he's at work today, and we were like, well, let's just slip in here and see if, you know, maybe we can get an opportunity or just lay eyes on this thing and see how good it might actually be. And we walked right past the point where this deer was standing at, cut across his field, hung the stand up with the other stand, and it was, I don't know, sometime after 6, Noah's like, I think I see something over there. And he's like, dude, it's a buck. And then he snagged the camera from me, zoomed in on it. He's like, dude, it's that buck. And as it got closer, we could tell, like, man, he's just growing and growing on us.
Yeah, he got bigger the closer he
He's
got.
like, we're like, he's way bigger than we thought. The trail cam pictures didn't necessarily do him justice. And then he got to a point where he was maybe like 60, 70 yards at the corner. And we had made up our mind, yeah, this is definitely a deer that if he gives us an opportunity, he's going to take him. And it all just worked out perfectly. He came in like a big mature deer would do. He was right below the stand, about 40 yards. He stopped. He smelled the air. We had a perfect wind, though, blowing the opposite direction of where he was at. And he didn't smell nothing. And he committed, and he got up about 25 yards. And Noah and I were communicating to each other when to shoot, because I was filming. And he was like, are you on him? I was like, yeah. And no sooner than that, I heard whoop, and I knew right then and there that deer was done, and we were dragging one out tonight. And he ran about 80 yards and just stopped out in the field, which you'll be able to see on video. He stood there for a long time, and we're just kind of like, man, go down, like in our heads. And I saw his back end start to move, and I was like, well, man, he's starting a stanky leg right there. And he rolled over, and from that point it was nothing but celebration and just enjoying all of the work that we've put in this year. This is our fourth
buck now.
Fourth buck, and it's only October. This is the fourth buck, so
middle of October.
Yeah, as a whole, this has been one of our most successful season. Not necessarily the biggest deer that we've ever killed, but some good, mature, nice bucks. And I mean, we're just pumped. I don't know what else to say other than this is, Noah and I have killed a lot of good deer over the past couple of years, working together and scouting and finding all these bucks. But this is the first one that, since I got my buck out of the way early and work wasn't in the way to where we could be in the stand at the exact same time, and I was able to film it, and that was probably going to be one of our most memorable hunts. I've had one other hunt like this with Levi, who's actually right behind the camera, where we got to shoot a big 8-point together. And to be able to do it again with another one of my brothers is just, I couldn't be happier proud of you. I mean, we've not only did, like, he killed this deer yesterday, I got to film my son shooting his first deer ever, and he's only 6 years old, and we were excited about that. He just shot a little doe, and then to follow it up with this, it's like amazing, especially after everything that's happened to him this week, to getting rear-ended at work in the company vehicle, to another accident a day later out of nowhere where his Jeep got really messed up and he was in the hospital just stiff and
48 hours ago.
Concussed. I think that might have something to do with his shot being a little off. But me being who I am and him being who he is, we don't we don't let excuses get in the way. Even if we're hurt, he'll be pushing me to get out in the stand or whatever. Like, I've had a bunch of face surgeries, knee surgeries. He had me out last year with a cast on my leg, hanging up tree stands and filming, and then he was kind of feeling out of it the past couple of days, and I was just like, dude, you got to man up. I was like, you ain't dying. You can pull that bow back. We're getting in the stand. And he's like, I don't know, man. And then he's like, all right, today he's like, all right, we're going to do it. and God willing, boom, this is what happens when you push each other.
Yeah,
So.
I think there's like 3 big keys to success for this hunt in particular. Obviously, we got early intel of this buck and scouting him early season, and then driving in here today, Ethan and I were getting ready to park, and we always have these debates with each other, and having a good teammate to question your move or what you're deciding to do is always a great thing. Surrounding yourself with other great hunters to really give yourself the best opportunity to have a successful hunt. We were getting ready to park today, and we were like, you know what, if we access from this spot with this wind, I think it'll minimalize the chances that this buck ends up busting us. Lo and behold, this buck was actually bedded right near where we walked in, but we had heavy winds walking in, and the wind was blown away from where he was. And ultimately, I think having that wind cover up the noise that we were making when we were walking to the stand was a big success. And then obviously our communication within the stand, awesome. I think that was very important and key. There's some moments where he coached me, and also opportunities where I wanted to make sure that he was on the deer so that we could successfully record it for you guys to watch. But ultimately, I think, you know, just the team and the competitiveness and questioning each other ultimately led to a successful hunt tonight. So we're looking forward to getting some of our other team members out on some good deer. It's the October lull, as some would call it, but we seem to have some success. So we're excited to see some of our other team members behind some big bucks.
I think what you were saying about just learning and coaching each other and all the debates, like, so with this particular property, all summer long we had cameras way up to the left, down over the hill, cameras back in these woods over here. And one of the things that I remembered, like, just from our scouting videos out here, was like, I always seen these deer on this downside of this hill, and for some reason, like I was telling him, I was like, you know, we never really put a camera down here in this corner where we've seen those deer when we scouted them, and we were never really sure where they popped out. But we would get them on these other cameras, but it wasn't always consistent. But when we were just driving by, we'd see deer standing down here, and it was what, like 2 days or 3 days before the season, I was texting him because I just drove out here to do something or check the camera, and I was just like, man, I honestly think, like, the play is putting a stand farther down this field, you know what I mean? Because we know these deer are out here. We just haven't been getting them consistent on these cameras, but every time we drive by, they're in this field in that area. And he's like, yeah, I think you're right, man. I think that's the play, even though we haven't necessarily put cameras there. That's the one spot in the field that we haven't necessarily covered with a camera. And we hung it up, and it turned out to be the exact perfect location to harvest this deer and pretty much every other buck that we've had on this property on this side of the road, from his running mate that we call Wally, that the neighbor was able to successfully kill. Really good guy. I'm happy for him. But again, did exactly what we thought they would do, and only deer we seen tonight played the part, and here he is.
Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling